give up.
I'll never give up. There's so many other people I could possibly falsely accuse. Don't doubt me, game.
You're referring to the candle in the music video, right? In the video I saw, a candle was used for lighting. But if you think about it, it's pretty strange.
Oh, the guy with the hamsters. You mean Gundam?
The music venue has good lighting, so there's no reason to even use candlelight.
Yeah, you know what? Kyoko's murder would make sense with Gundam. Had a reincarnated pharaoh as one of the main characters, also talking about Egyptian mythology and such. Oh, I did not know that.
But
I didn't know it went that deep.
Would they have done it to make it feel creepier?
That might have been another reason, but the main reason was probably to tamper with evidence. The lighting in the conference room and the music venue are so different. They couldn't be used during filming. That's why the killer used a candle as film lighting instead.
Which means... Are you saying the candle in the music venue wasn't actually used?
That candle was likely placed there just to make me think it was the same candle that was used in the video.
With candlelight, you can't see things in that much detail. Maybe they were going for that effect. With that cheap-ass camera, it won't capture much in a dark area.
As long as this all matches up, it should be no problem to say this is decided. The video I saw wasn't filmed at the music venue. It was actually filmed at the hospital conference room.
If I'd found proof that evidence in the conference room was altered, we would have reached an answer sooner. But it appears the killer already covered that up, so I didn't find anything when I went there.
But there's no mistake. That's the only place within the connection range of the surveillance camera.
The motel would have been too far, and the interior design of the movie theater is too distinctive.
But this must be a surprising turn of events for Hajime. You never suspected that the video you saw in the hospital was being filmed in the conference room.
The incident isn't happening at the scene of a crime, it's occurring in the conference room.
If Ibuki's hanging video was filmed at the hospital's conference room, then was Ibuki killed at the conference room too?
No, that's not possible. Right after Hajime saw that video, he discovered Ibuki's body at the music venue.
I'm trying to pay really close attention to see exactly what it is that I missed that made my in-game character be like, I totally got it. And then me be clueless. That video was filmed at the conference room, but Ibuki's body was at the music venue. Which means there was a fake somewhere. That fake must have been the Ibuki in the conference room.
I see! The person wearing the hint bag in that video wasn't Ibuki. It was the killer pretending to be Ibuki. The killer put on a hospital gown, wore a hint bag on their head, and was only pretending to be the victim.
By that time, the real Ibuki must have already been killed.
The actual time of death must have been earlier. Probably around midnight or dawn to avoid witnesses.
If they took Ibuki from the music venue to the hospital to kill her, there's no way it happened during the day.
So that's what happened. Then no matter how quickly I ran, it was impossible for me to rescue Ibuki. At that moment, I was already in the killer's trap. And the one who set a trap for me was...
But why did the killer go to the trouble of making a fake video just so Hajime could go to the crime scene?
The reason the killer made a fake video... There's only one possibility I can think of. And if I examine that possibility thoroughly, then naturally the killer's identity will reveal itself.
Huh?
You fiend! Are you saying you already know who the killer is?
No? Who the killer is. Alright, we're gonna try who you guys are referring to as Ninja Man.
Crap!
No, that's not it. There's no way this person is the killer. I need to think this over one more time. Right, I should already know. Then I am going with Kazuichi. We'll get there eventually.
Crap!
Son of a biscuit. No way. No way. She has short hair. It would fit under the hemp bag. No, waifu. Trust in the heart of the cards? But I don't have any cards. Nagato couldn't have been it because he was bedridden. And Chiaki says, well, I know that she went to the conference room, and she's like, oh, if I had brought that up sooner, maybe we would have found out who the killer was sooner. Hey, Chiaki, it's not you, right? Hey, this isn't Portopia, so a development like that is really out of place. You're right, I just wanted to check.
Damn it!
No. Oh no. Is it Mikan?
You're the only one!
No
You're
way.
the one, aren't you?
No.
What are you talking about?
No way. You guys made me max out my relationship with her.
Like I said, aren't you the killer who murdered Ibuki and Hiyoko?
Killer? Huh? I'm the killer? What is this?
Doesn't she know a lot about stuff like duct tape and stuff like that? She did mention that, I think, at one point.
Hey, don't you think that's kinda impossible?
I do kind of think that's impossible. How the heck did she do that to Hiyoko?
A chick like her as the killer? She couldn't even kill a fly. In fact, the fly would probably kill her first.
She's right! A clumsy slowpoke like me killing someone? That's completely out of the question!
But we're the only ones. Thanks to that video, we're the only ones who have the advantage of an alibi.
An alibi? Was that the killer's goal?
Now that you mention it, you guys brought that up earlier. Only Hajime and Mikan have an alibi.
It's just a coincidence!
But you're the only one who could have filmed that video in the hospital conference room. Is that also a coincidence?
Shouldn't you get some rest already? You should be exhausted from nursing without any sleep, right? Then if you insist, I will use the on-call room upstairs. You must be mentally exhausted, so it's better if you relax in the lobby instead.
At that time, you said you were going to the on-call room, but you actually went to the conference room. That's when you put on a hospital
Oh, she
gown that you
naked.
prepared in advance, put the bag on your head, and began filming. By doing that, you made up a video that showed Ibuki trying to hang herself at the music video. And showed that to me.
I don't know. That's a lot for her to do. That feels like it's a lot to do. Just for her?
I saw that video at the hospital lobby. If someone wants to go to the conference room from outside, they have to pass through the lobby.
So it's impossible that someone who wasn't already in the hospital went to the conference room to film.
Not only that,
You don't think it's her?
the others in the hospital, Akane and I, were both delirious from the despair disease.
So that must mean...
Please, wait a second! What are you saying? I'm the killer? That's impossible! There's no way I could kill someone!
Yeah, she's a nurse. She takes care of people.
It's not literally impossible. Can't you give a better defense than that?
I don't know, Naito, stop it!
Just shows she can't even do that.
Hey,
Oops.
It's totally wrong! It's not what you think!
Okay, hold on. What did what's her face say? Where's the transcript? There we go. Hey, you sure this chick is really the killer? Well, that was so useful.
Just like Akane said, it is really hard to tie it all together. I mean, Mikan is the killer?
I agree. It is truly difficult to believe someone could be killed by such a slow-witted woman.
What's that supposed to mean, Gundam? Despite the case as the games go on in the franchise, do they become more complicated, or is it more like a novel series with new interesting cases? I'm not really sure. I've never played them. One of my favorite streamers played them like earlier this year, and I watched like a tiny little bit of like the first one, so it got me intrigued, and so that's why we're playing through them now. I mean, was Nagato in the hospital? Yeah, he was bedridden, so he could have done that. Yeah, but he had the despair disease, so he was out of it.
That slow-witted remark is not necessary.
I agree, Sonia.
It's fine. I've been like this for a long time. In a tournament for social punching bags, I'd easily win first place with my soft reputation. Even I can't deny that. How many times do I have to tell you? It's impossible for me to kill someone. I'm serious. Very serious.
What do you say, Hajime?
Do you still believe this woman is the killer?
I don't know. They made me pick, and I kept going through, and it only let me pick her.
Do you hate
I don't hate you.
much?
No. We had great cuddling times.
Hey, Hajime!
Yes? Oh boy. Could have chosen Nagato, but he was cuckoo nuts. Everyone's ganging up on me. Tricks aside, logic aside, is she really capable of doing something like this? So what did you miss? Me being really confused. Apparently, I said the nurse did it, but she's saying she didn't do it. Could it be I'm the one making a mistake? No, in fact, it'd be so much easier if I was wrong. If I have this much doubt about someone I've spent so much time with.
Can you hold on a minute?
Oh gosh, here we go. Yeah, I accused her because it kept on telling me that no one else did it. Huh?
Well, I know I'm being intrusive and all, and I mean, I have no place to say this. I missed all of the critical parts, and I doubt I have anything worth saying at an important time like this.
What are you saying?
I didn't try him because he was in his hospital bed. He was bedridden, cuckoo nuts out of his mind. Kind of like he usually is, but even more. So, everything he was saying was the opposite. So he was lying about everything he was saying was the opposite. So his lying was even more lying. It's a whole Nagato thing. What are you saying?
But still, there's definitely no way I can overlook the killer this time.
Huh?
I thought it was suspicious all along, from the very beginning. Investigating with the suspect in mind creates a different result than investigating with no leads.
Hey, what are you trying to say?
Well, thanks to that, I was able to discover a truth that nobody else knows.
Are you serious?
I've been so focused on everybody else this trial. But I guess now's a good time to say it.
You better not have kept quiet on purpose. This isn't a game, you know.
Actually, this is a game!
Please don't say such controversial statements. Well, what do you know, Nagito?
Well, it's nothing big, really. Only a small, decisive clue that points to the killer.
Hey, that's a huge deal!
A decisive clue? Does something like that really exist?
Let's take a look, shall we? Regarding the rope Ibuki was dangling from, this rope was supplied by the supermarket, right? There weren't any ropes inside the music venue.
This is a game indeed, I know.
Again with the supermarket? That place is a hotspot for criminal goods.
It sure is. It's like a Walmart.
If they got it at the supermarket, that means it was brand new, right?
I guess.
What's wrong with that?
I want you to take a close look at this rope. And keep in mind that it's brand new. Near the middle of the rope, it's frayed. as if it was rubbed strongly. But why is it like this? The loopy Buki used to hang herself is on one end of the rope, and the part of the rope that hung from the baton lighting is on the other end.
Hey, you're taking too long. What's wrong with the rope being frayed?
It means, well, from what I can infer, I think the rope was used like this. The killer wrapped the rope around Ibuki's neck, pulled both ends at full strength, and strangled her. The center of the rope is frayed because that's the part they used to strangle Ibuki.
Hold on. I've been listening to you for a while, and it sounds like you knew about this rope clue all along. What exactly did you say to me during the investigation?
So this rope won't be much of a clue, then I might as well search another place.
Not everyone cooperates at a class trial. Those who lie and conceal the truth will obviously be here too. Just like this case's killer. I was just copying them a little bit.
More importantly, what was all that about the rope? The killer strangled Ibuki. And then?
And then, I finished speaking.
How is that a decisive clue?
Huh? You didn't notice it? I thought I made the decisive clue very clear.
Does what he said actually sound like it's something someone did? I'm wondering who would have choked her with it. Nagato's words contain a decisive clue. I guess he gave you a hint, like he always does, but it's always like there's like so much lie and like this much truth that it's so hard. Who's strong out of the group? Akane. And Akane. And it couldn't have been her, though. Because she was a wimp, remember? She was the opposite. The opposite. Is opposite. Is that really true? Oh my gosh, not this again. Oh my gosh, rope used for hanging. Okay.
Ibuki didn't die from hanging. She was strangled to death.
That's basically the same thing.
Though hanging and strangling seem similar, they're very different. The scars they leave would look different too.
Scars? You mean the rope burn, right?
But we believed it was from a hanging. Why would that be?
Did we fall for someone's lie?
The body at the crime scene was hanged, you know. Obviously, we'd assume it was a hanging.
The Monokuma file complicates this too. It never specified hanging or strangulation.
Whoever misunderstood is to blame!
Ibuki's true cause of death was strangulation. That fact is decisive proof that will lead to the killer. Nekomaru, but Nekomaru's been gone for hours. But whose lie? Soda, explain. Gundam to what? You too? What? You don't know anymore? Wait, what just happened? Oh, is that true? Oops, I wasn't paying attention.
Ibuki didn't die from hanging. She was strangled to death.
That's basically the same thing.
Though hanging and strangling seem similar, they're very different. The scars they leave would look different too.
Scars? You mean the rope burn, right?
But we believed it was from a hanging. Why would that be?
Did we fall for someone's lie?
The body at the crime scene was hanged, you know. Obviously, we'd assume it was a hanging.
The Monokuma file complicates this too. It never specified hanging or strangulation.
Whoever misunderstood is to blame!
You just, this is too difficult for my brain to handle? Oh my gosh. Mine too. Ibuki's true cause of death was strangulation. That fact is the decisive proof that will lead to the killer. Is that true? I don't think so.
Ibuki didn't die from hanging.
Do you think the
She was
AC temperature has
strangled
anything
to
to do with this?
That's basically the same thing.
Though
Oops.
hanging and strangling seem similar, they're very different. The scars they leave would look different too.
Scars? You mean the rope burn, right?
But we believed it was from a hanging. Why would that be?
Did we fall for someone's lie?
The body at the crime scene was hanged, you know. Obviously, we'd assume it was a hanging.
The Monokuma file complicates this too. It never specified hanging or strangulation.
Alright, so it's not that.
Crap! Ibuki didn't die from hanging. She was strangled to death.
That's basically the... Though hanging and the scars they leave... Scars?
But we believed it. Why would that be?
Did we fall for someone's lie?
Man.
Crap! Ibuki didn't die from hanging. She was strangled to death.
That's basically the... Though hanging and the scars they leave... Scars?
But we believed it. Why would that be?
Did we fall for someone's lie?
The body at the crime scene was hanged, you know.
Yes, it was.
Obviously, we'd...
The Monokuma file, it never specified hanging or
Whoever misunderstood is to blame!
Ibuki didn't die from hanging. She was
Rope used for
strangled to
hanging.
death.
That's basically the same thing.
Though hanging and strangling seem similar, they're very different. The scars they leave would look different too.
Scars? You mean the rope burn?
But we believed it was from... Why would that be?
Did we fall for someone's lie?
The body at the crime scene was... Obviously, we'd...
the Monokuma file, it never specified.
Whoever misunderstood is to blame!
Ibuki didn't die from hanging. She was strangled to death.
Oh my gosh. Who is responsible for the files, or is that not a factor? I'm blind at this too. You get what's called the Monokuma file when dead bodies are found, but that basically just has information on like what time they died, what kind of wounds were inflicted, the way that they died, things like that. Check my truth bullets.
Crap!
Rope used for hanging. According to Makan, there is no doubt that the cause of Ibuki's death was her hanging herself with this rope. Okay, Makan says that there's no doubt.
She was strangled to death.
Oh wait, I had just tried that, didn't I? We probably
Ibuki
gonna
didn't
die.
from hanging. She was strangled to death.
That's basically the same thing.
Though hanging and strangling seem similar, they're very different.
Someone made a video
Scars they
though.
leave would look different too.
Scars? You mean the rope burn, right?
But we believed it was from a hanging. Why would that be?
Did we fall for someone's lie?
The body at the crime scene was hanged, you know. Obviously, we'd assume it was a hanging.
The Monokuma file complicates this too. It
Oh,
never-
the Monokuma file. Hold on. Makan said that it was definitely a hanging. There are two victims this time, Ibuki Miyota and Hyoko Sanji. Ibuki Miyota's cause of death was crushed windpipe as a result of choking. There are no other external injuries. Hyoko Sayonji's cause of death was blood loss due to her throat, blah blah. She could have lied?
Whoever misunderstood is to blame!
Ibuki didn't die, she was strangled.
That's basically
I'm gonna
no
agree
hanging
with
and straight, the scars they
Gundam
leave
and see
with
what
scars.
happens.
But we believed it. Why would that be?
Did we fall for someone's lie? The body at the crime scene was obviously. We'd assume it was a hang.
The Monokuma file complicates this too. It never specified hanging or strangulation.
Ibuki didn't die from hanging. She was strangled to death.
That's basically the same thing.
Though hanging and strangling seem similar, they're very different. The scars they leave. Scars?
But we believed it. Why would that be?
Did we fall for someone? The body at the crime scene. Obviously, we'd.
The Monokuma file, it never specified.
Whoever misunderstood is to blame!
Ibuki didn't die from hanging. She was strangled to death.
My gosh. That's okay. That's fine. We're playing this together. I mean, as long as it's not spoiled for me, I'm totally fine.
Crap! Ibuki didn't die from hanging.
I'm just sorry that I'm being so quiet.
She
It's
was
just I'm
strangled to death.
so stumped.
That's basically the same thing.
Though hanging and strangling seem similar, they're very different. The scars they leave would look different too.
Crap! Ibuki didn't die from hanging. She was strangled to death.
That's basically the... Though hanging and the scars they leave... Scars?
You mean? But we believed it was. Why would that be?
Did we fall for someone's lie? The body.
Time's up. Again. Figures on the night that Shadow isn't around, right? Gosh.
We will never give up.
Hello? Yes, do not tell me what happens. We'll just keep on struggling here until 2 in the morning.
Ibuki didn't die from hanging. She was strangled to death.
No, I don't think so.
That's basically the same thing.
Though hanging and strangling seem similar, they're very different. The scars they leave would look different too.
Scars? You mean the rope burn, right?
But we believed it was from a hanging. Why would that be?
Did we fall for someone's lie? The body at the crime scene was hanged, you know. Obviously, we'd.
The Monokuma file, it never specified.
Whoever misunderstood is to blame!
Whoever misunderstood is to blame. I misunderstand everything! You love to see me suffer. Great. Shadows are a good luck charm. I bet he's watching and just like, popcorn. I knew this would happen. It's right in front of me. It's in the computer. The answer is in the computer?
Ibuki didn't die from hanging. She was strangled to death.
That's basically the same. Though hanging and strangling seem... The scars they leave would look different too. Scars?
But we believed it. Why would that?
Did we fall for some? The body at the crime scene. Obviously, we'd assume it was a hanging.
The Monokuma file, it never specified.
Whoever misunderstood is to blame!
Ibuki didn't die from. She was strangled to death.
That's basically the same. Though hanging and strangling... The scars they leave would look different too. Scars?
But we believed it was from a hang. Why would that be?
Did we fall for someone's lie? The body at the crime scene was hanged, you know. Obviously, we'd assume it was a hanging.
The Monokuma file, it never specified hanging or strangulation.
Whoever misunderstood is to blame!
You'll never solve it if you think too hard. Dude, I think so hard. all the time. Yep, exactly. I agree with Halo. I'm not saying anything. I hope you are all
Ibuki
enjoying
didn't die from
this.
hanging.
Watching a man go nuts.
She was strangled to death.